Okay, Megavanan everyone, and welcome to my introduction to the start of my Pillars of Eternity, the first game, Let's Play. It is November 11, 2025, but when I started recording, or when I did the recording, I think it was it Monday? I think it was November 10. I gave the date, so... and the reason why I'm doing this is because when I recorded it yesterday, I'm back, by the way, from the Philippines, so it was very jarring going from some place that was extremely hot. It wasn't really extremely hot, but it was very hot over there. It was about, between 92, 95 degrees during the day, and then at night it was like around 79, sometimes 80. But when I recorded yesterday, my Windows updated, and whenever it does that, it resets my OBS to, it resets the mic so that it's not connected to the OBS. And I forgot to change that because it's been so long since I recorded. So, what you're about to see then is, you'll see me in the lower right corner. You'll hear the game still, but it's also kind of good because I can hear the game really well, and I realized maybe I should lower the volume of the game, just slightly. But you won't hear my voice. So I'm just going to give commentary and talk a bit about what I'm talking about during that scene, if I can remember. So let's just get started with that. So I'm going to pause it and bring up the video. Okay, so as you can see, you can't hear my voice. Oh, you know what? I just realized what I should have done was... Okay, yeah, you can very faintly hear the game. But I should have... Oh yeah, okay. I should have edited out my character creation and made that a separate video. But, well, that's okay. I don't feel like, starting this over. So I'm just talking about, talking about how I came back, and talking a bit about how there's a turn-based mode that's in the beta of Pillars of Eternity. So it only took them 10 years, because this game came out 2015, but 10 years to put it in this game. And they went with a kind of turn-based mode, or was it just a regular... Well, it was turn-based mode for Pillars 2, but I think it wasn't very well done. I played very little of the second one. The first one I got much further, even though I haven't beaten it. So here, yeah, I'm just messing with the frame rate and the settings and the sound, and I was still trying to figure out how to, to select the turn-based mode. But that's something, I think when you start the game, you'll get that option. I don't want to keep talking through everything, just for the sake of talking. So if, I do have something to say that's, important, and it correlates with what's going on the screen, I'll just say it. So there might be some silent moments, just to warn you. Yeah, I was thinking that it was in the auto pause. I'm still looking for, where it is to turn on the turn-based mode. It's in the beta, like I said. And I think this came out sometime last week. this feature. Yeah, and here it is. So I played on normal. And as of right now, you can only change between turn-based mode and the regular real-time with pause in the menu. There isn't anything yet that you could do it from the UI, during gameplay. And you can't change it in the middle of combat. But you should be able to change it, back and forth between real-time pause and turn-based in the menu and outside of combat. So there might be bugs with the turn-based mode. I've only been in 3 small encounters in the game and didn't really encounter anything. I was just trying to figure out, how it worked, because it still paused and it was something I had to turn off. It would pause between, here.
Blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Yeah, 'cause yeah, I like how there's a perfect mix of voiceover and having to read. So right now, of course, I'm reading this.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
I should actually just go ahead and
Whole area's
read
crawling
it.
with hut-dwelling types who would be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry, about the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Odima looks over his shoulder at his assistant, a lanky, intense man named Sparfle, who carries an old, sun-bleached bow. Sparfle nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulder. And that's the thing I was talking about here. I wish that they would allow you to just, push a button for them to to start their voiceovers. So that way, I could read what's above it before he begins speaking. because it's a bit out of order now, you see. He spoke first, and I have to go back and read. You know, the Odema looks over his shoulder, so I wish that they made it so that you could push a button.
Here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one. Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Aer Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
So your character's attributes, skills, class, race, culture, and sex may all open up options for you in dialogue. These options are not necessarily superior to other responses, but give you a wider variety of choices to select from. The manner in which someone responds to your choices depends on their individual personality and attitude. Now this is where he talks about those crystals, those green crystal type things.
Where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories.
And even though not exactly the same, it kind of reminded me of in Dragon Age Origin, or really Dragon Age, the series. There's something called lyrium that kind of grows, out of the, was it like the ground or the roots or something? So it just kind of reminded me of that.
It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days.
Yeah, I'm talking about that. How it reminded me of Dragon Age Origins.
Use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that. Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
Okay, my first companion. He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's nights sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow. Kalisha, that is her name. The woman looks up on her own time. She needs to find some spring berries. Watch that she doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
Okay.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Okay, I'll wait till this segment is over.
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything.
Yeah, the only thing that kind of bothers me here, like with this guy, he speaks with this...
Aedyr should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a Beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
Yeah, he has like this Texan accent or something. Like a country accent. And I just find that kind of weird. I found it also weird. Like in how, they were talking like this, a few of the NPCs in Neverwinter Nights. So I don't really like that. But, I mean, I can't do anything about it. I would prefer that he didn't speak with, with that type of an accent. But it's okay. It's not okay, but it's fine.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Welcome to Pillars of Eternity. If this is your first visit to the world, of Eora. You may want to watch those windows to become familiar with the tools and interfaces available to you. Yeah, and okay, your party always consists of your character and up to 5 additional companions or adventurers. While the caravan is camped outside the Glenfarthing ruins, Odime has assigned Kalisha to help you. Kalisha is a fighter, a class that excels at close quarters defense. Use her abilities to complement your own, and she will be complementing, my abilities, being a wizard. To select a party member, click on the selection circle, their portrait, or press the number button to correspond to their position in the party, starting with 1 at the left. To select multiple party members, click and hold anywhere on the screen and drag the marquee over the circles of the party members you'd like to include. Okay, so that is the only way to select the whole group. There isn't a button to select all. To move selected characters, click anywhere on the screen where your cursor is a circle of 4 wedges. All selected characters will path to the corresponding position in the formation. If you see a red circle with a slash through it, you cannot walk on that part of the map. Yeah, and I also like how there's battle formations. When multiple party members are selected, the action bar is hidden. To see individual characters' options, select only that character. Yeah, but yeah, there's battle formations, and I was trying to figure that out where it was here at this point, and it's actually those dots under the sword. Yeah, this is kind of weird. Why are some of the letters out of frame, like outside of the dialogue box? You see that on the right? It doesn't completely fit. But here's the battle formations. I always love that in these type of games when they have that. I believe Dungeon Siege had it.
All right, follow me. Oh? Hmm?
Okay, I'm looking for Hyodan. And I didn't see that guy down hidden in the shadows to the left. By the wheel wagon, is it? Most people you encounter in the world are neutral or friendly. You can interact with them.
Anyone need supply?
Oh, it's okay. You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothing. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Got a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
Shakes his head and laughs when he notices you. He scratches one cheek with his knuckle. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if it hasn't been gotten used to shaving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Yeah, let's see. Now, yeah, I didn't notice anything I could use. I don't think I noticed any camping supplies either. Those are needed in order to sleep. Oh, but you know what? I don't think I ever bothered scrolling all the way down to the bottom, and he might have had those camping supplies. Yes, I should have known my scepter is a ranged weapon. I thought, I had to go up. I thought it was a melee weapon, and
Something
I had
else
to,
you need?
used for hitting. And I just noticed a stat on there that has a range. But I discovered that later in combat, that I could actually shoot with that. Ah, okay, yeah, see? So I'm clicking through all the different categories that he's selling, and I don't see any camping supplies. A rod. I wonder if that would have been better than my scepter. Yeah, it's actually not so bad. You can, I was worried that my picture is obscuring the dialogue box, a dialogue window, but in a way it kind of is, but, I'm able to lengthen it, so when it gets up to the top, you can
What you need?
read it. And a lot of it is short, some short text. But now, see, this is where there's a problem when it gets... Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm talking about that here, too.
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
Let's check by those outcroppings.
Uses pausable real-time system because you will often manage more than one character at a time. Resume real-time to see the order. Yeah, this does not pertain to me since I'm using turn-based mode. But this is where, you see what I'm talking about. The game is paused, and I was trying to figure out, like, why I'm not attacking or, couldn't do anything. Even though it says game paused right there at the bottom, I just didn't notice that. I noticed it later, but I think it's just mostly because I was trying to figure out how to attack. And then I had to figure out like how to unpause it, but I think I just guessed that it would be spacebar, because I do remember, yeah, see, space, right. That's how it is in, the real-time combat. Yeah, see, I'm still trying to figure that out. Oh, but see, that's really cool. See, I love how this game has a bestiary.
Yes.
What you need?
Hmm?
What you need?
If they move again, they will provoke a disengagement attack from the enemies engaging them. Your characters will be automatically engage enemies when they initiate attack against them with melee weapons. So yeah, I brought up how disengagement attack is basically like attack of opportunity in Dungeons and Dragons. See, and there's the upper right, and that is why I could not put my face in the upper right corner, because then, you know, you wouldn't be able to see the battle order. And, you know, even though the dialogue box is important as well,
What you need?
like I said, you know, I was able to, you know, expand that so you can actually still read it. And typically it's just repeating, you know, what's being said, you know, in the game, so. Yeah, see, I'm checking because I wasn't sure if the turn-based mode was on, even though I saw there was the battle order in the upper right. I still, yeah, you know, it was throwing me off because it kept pausing. And it would pause, I think, every round or, you know, every turn. And then I figured out how to turn that off. Now for this first fight, what was it? This fight, or I think it might actually be the first fight against humans. My mage gets knocked down, and I bring up how, oh, okay, well, the reason why my excuse is because, you know, and my excuse, quote unquote, but you know, kind of role-playing it a bit, is because my character is still sick, you know, with whatever it is, whatever I'm afflicted with. So that's why I was not, you know, performing at 100%. Even though, really, I was trying to engage them in melee combat. Well, in this instance, the wolf ran up to me, as you can see. And I think it was when I was going up against a human opponent, I went to engage, you know, to start moving toward them to engage in melee combat. But then I noticed that, oh, okay, I'll click attack, you know, because your icon turns into a sword. And I was still about mid-range, you know, distance from the enemy. And I actually shot using my scepter, so that's how I discovered that.
Yes.
You know, when I think scepter, I think, you know, Diablo 2, and scepters are melee weapons that a paladin uses.
Hmm? This is it.
And there it is. So this part here, I get to know Kalisha a bit better. See, so you're a holy woman. See, she uses her knowledge of clergymen. I left all that behind. Yeah, how is it you happen to come here? I forgot what I think I picked. There were certain oaths I couldn't live with. Yeah. Hazards of lifestyle, I suppose. You had to expect it was a possibility, no matter how much you didn't want to be that way. Kalisha breathes in her surroundings. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always liked it. Lord Roderick's offer makes a girl think. I'll give him that. You here to settle like the rest of the lot? And I think I put... Oh yeah, it's a hard offer to pass up. You won't find many offers like it in these parts, believe me. Got some big plan in store. I'm going to settle here and start a new life. Oh no, getting filthy rich, that's what it is. And she liked that. A woman after my own heart. May your luck be better than mine. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Odem'll give me an awful or earful. Let's be on our way. Okay, I've got simple needs. I like open skies and far horizons. I find work that lets me live that way. My family wanders too. We started in Dyrwood, but my parents ended up in the living lands. I've got a brother in Raute and another in Aedyr. My sister in Gilded Vale. She's the only real homebody. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfle's getting your water anytime soon. He does what he feels like, when he feels like it. We should check up on him first, slap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get you your water. Yeah, so there comes a point here where I was trying to bring that up again, that dialogue, to see if maybe she, and she didn't, but to see if she gave me, directions, more detailed directions, and I just forgot. But she just said it was that way, and it wasn't really, specific. And then I started trying to look for, I think it was, in the lower right corner, because you have the combat log and you have the dialogue, in the chat log, right? So I was trying to figure out I was clicking the tab, but it wouldn't, for some reason, I couldn't switch the tab, so I'm just thinking now maybe it does it automatically. When you're in conversation with an NPC, it will just switch to that dialogue box. So I guess there really wasn't a way to bring up the chat history. Because again, like I said, I was trying to bring up what she said to see, if she gave specific detail as to where that stream was. She just said it was just down that way, and it was very vague.
We shouldn't stray too far.
I'm actually thinking that the sound effects could be slightly louder, and I could lower the voice, maybe by like a few points. Yeah, I'd say I could not figure that out. That is weird. Look, even some of the, the text is going outside the border of that box. So I wonder if I have something set wrong. Like, see at the top? It written in red.
What a surprise. Sparfle went hunting. At least he left the water skins. Come on.
Yeah, even she talks like a... Look, I really... Hold on, I'm going to pause it right here because I really love this type of I guess this storyboard done in like a choose your own adventure, pop-up that happens every so often, with a little illustration. So I love that. It gives it that kind of, I guess like a feel between, that fighting, I think it's called like Fighting Force or something like that. Fighting Force game. It's a text-based game, and you roll the dice and everything, and you just read and make choices. So it kind of has a bit of that as sort of like a mini game within this game. So I really like that. You crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin into the cool water with Kalisha, while Kalisha waits nearby, keeping watch. As you rise, you notice her look up sharply towards the tree line. You have gained quest item. Out of the trees emerges Sparfle, one of the guides, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there is a strangeness to his gut, his stride wobbly as he moves toward you with labored breath. Or is that word gait? To his gait.
Sparfle, are you all right?
Kalisha frowns. Sparfle's toe catches on a rock, and he collapses forward in a heap, the feathered shaft of an arrow planted between the shoulders like an enemy flag. And here we go.
Ambush!
Yeah.
Oh, so... Okay, again, yeah, he ran up to me. It's not like I engaged in melee, on purpose. But, because my first, reaction would be, in an attack is to just shoot from afar and only engage if, either I'm out of spell point, engage in melee if I'm out of spell points, or, I have absolutely no choice, like right now, he just ran up to me. But as I said, I was not aware at this point that I was able to shoot with my scepter.
Ooh, then! Finish them!
Oh,
What you
so
need?
if I'm up close to an enemy, does my scepter become like a melee weapon and I strike with it versus casting, like a wand? But if I'm far away, it will, I'm paying attention to the sound effects that it makes. And it sounded like I tried, and visually it just looked like I tried striking with my scepter. Okay, listen for it.
Finish them!
Elora grazes Glenfathan Hunter for 3 crush damage. Yeah, I cannot tell. Maybe I'm still shooting with it, even at close range. Oh, see, it says hits. And grazes. Graze sounds more of like when you're shooting something. Like when they say the bullet just grazed me, something like that. But yeah, I'm about to go down.
These wounds run deep.
I'm down. Ouch. When a party member is reduced to 0 endurance, they are knocked out. This means they're... Oh, okay.
Hmm?
You know, I might still just, you know, once this is done, I might still, you know, separate the character creation part of the video, you know, and make that, you know, its own, you know, thing. You know, like how I typically do with an Elder Scrolls game.
What you need?
I think I bring up, and the fighter, of course, is the last one standing. The fighter, of course, being, what was her name?
Come on, we
yeah,
have to get back to
Kalisha.
camp. Hmm?
And I'm about to discover something bad has happened. So you can tell I'm still getting the hang of navigating this, but you know, it's, if I remember, it's pretty much the same way with Baldur's Gate 3, but it's been a while since I played that game. I don't even have it installed anymore, so... You know, I do plan to go back to Baldur's Gate 3 at some point, but I mean, that game is well over 100 gigabytes, and this game here is 18 gigabytes only, so, and that's without the DLC, so I still have to get those. But I really, really love this game, and this isn't, at the time, it was, I was about to say indie game, but not really, because it's Obsidian, but it was funded through Kickstarter, so it wasn't it wasn't really I don't know what you would call it. It's not really like a big it's it kind of has the feel, I guess, and the look of an indie game, but it's not an indie game. Do you know what I mean? Because it is Obsidian, the writing is really smart, and has a great story and everything, great characters, character development. A lot of things have gone into the game, such as the dialogue choices, you know, voiceover, you know, at the right spots without having everything be completely, voice over. It has a nice mix of that, of having to read text with just a little bit of voice over here and there. And I really love the Choose Your Own Adventure storyboard pop-ups with a little illustration on the side. I think all of that is just really nice. So but you'll notice that there isn't any cutscenes, or rather any cinematic kind of cutscenes. It has cutscenes, but they're all like really stills and with a voiceover.
Yes.
And it's the picture kind of the camera sort of moving across the picture sometimes. So you see what I mean? It's kind of like wasn't really a huge budget, so it's by a AAA company, Obsidian, but done on a much smaller scale and almost indie budget.
Yes.
But everything else that's important about the game, it's all there. And it's still absolutely gorgeous to look at. I mean, just look at everything. I love this. I mean, it just really looks like they're, individually handcrafted. The tree, the texture in the road, the grass, everything.
What you need?
Okay, and here we are at the leader. Oh, I forgot to read that, but that's okay. Kalisha puts the back of her hand. Okay, a handful of dark figures stand above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs of heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-spit logs. One of them towering and sever with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the man you recognize as Theoden, the last of your caravan left standing, just holding him, hostage. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life. For a fight you will lose. So I use my, my lore skill here, and I do a lore check. The ruins have not been sullied by our hands, men of Glanfath, because I remember that caravan leader, talking about how, with these rocks, they didn't build them, but it's being watched over by them. So that's what these people are. Your words carry no weight. When I have seen the truth with my own eyes, blood must be paid for this intrusion. You now have one rank in disposition reputation. These reputations represent how people perceive your personality throughout the world. Even seemingly nasty reputations will be favored by some people, and benign reputations often bring out the worst in certain people. No disposition is inherently good or bad in pillars. But if your main character is like a paladin or something, or priest, if it goes against their code, priest or paladin, you must be careful not to misalign their dispositions, what is favored by their deity and order respectively. For the main character only, the disposition will modify the effects of holy radiance for priest, and faith, conviction for paladins. So it can have a negative effect. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them. They mean to kill us all. And see, I love how, there are different kind of skill checks you could do. Might check, and an intelligence check, and a lore check. I think I went with lore. Judging by the string of animal teeth around your neck, I'm guessing you are worshippers of Galawain. If Galawain told you to stop protecting the ruins, would you? The man frowns and motions as if to swing his axe. Theoden winces, but the blow never comes. She had caught his attention. Instead, the man cocks his head, intrigued. Of course, but he would not. It is by the command of all the gods that we accept this charge. How do you know? Because it's consistent with their beliefs, or because it's what you were told? The man glares. It has always been known to my people I see, and what of Galawain's edict, that weakness and age must be purged by youth and strength? You think Galawain would want some moldy, crumbling stones to survive after their builders have turned to dust? The man's nostrils flare as he fumes. He would not. He told us otherwise. I'm sure he did, just not you personally. But why should that stop you from killing innocents? Distracted, the man's grip falters on his axe handle, and he nearly fumbles it, affording Hyoden the moment he needs to dodge out of his swing, which comes too late. Howling with rage, the man charges you instead. And we're about to enter combat. And there's a battle order up there in the upper right. And I do some flanking here, but I believe I myself get flanked. My party gets flanked. I think specifically Hyoden. Yeah, see, I'm shooting now with my scepter, and which is something I believe I discovered in the last battle. Yeah, so I think I end up flat-footing that guy, Hyoden, when I play as Hyoden. Oh no, I did not flat-foot him. What did I do? I did a blinding strike. That's what I'm. So basically, I made him prone, but see now he can move again. See, now I'm being flanked. But yeah, see, I did like a blinding kind of attack before I disengaged.
Yes.
Finish that! What you need?
Very nice. Total of 11 slash damage.
Oh?
Yeah, see, he's prone. So I think it was the last battle where I discovered a nice little combination. I just have Kalisha knock them down, and then I just, shoot them to death. While they're prone. And I just did it again here.
Oh?
Wow. 21 raw damage.
Yes.
Your enemy lies supine on the ground, unable to rise, his companions now silent among the other dead. His breath comes in wheezing, fitful gasps. He looks not at you, but the sky above. Forgive us. Barely audible beneath his choked sighs, a whisper of wind stirs the air. At this, the man's eyes roll back as he closes them. Good. good, the gods are just. A queer smile crosses his face. I am ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You can feel it begin to seep beneath your skin, and where it pierces you, it feels as though it is rending you apart from within. Seated against the wagon wheel amidst the howling maelstrom, slashed across the chest and bow, Odema's body stirs with great effort. He raises his sagging head, his eyes barely open. He looks directly at you.
Run!
Okay, and we're about to go into another Choose Your Own Adventure story event. Which I always love. Straining against a gale that threatens to pull you off your feet with every step. You set up your hands in the worn folds of weathered rock and set about pulling yourself up the precipice. With a last burst of energy before your arms give out, you swing yourself up onto the ledge. Yeah, so I always love these choose your own adventure storyboard moments. Hyoden trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation. As he nears the face of the rocks, one of the fallen attackers who has been feigning death lunges for Hyoden and topples him onto the rocky ground. Restrained, Hyoden lashes out against his fatigued assailant, but struggles to break his hold. They're close to you. From your position, you would have a good chance at hitting your mark. Channel a bolt of energy towards the attacker. Use my dex, which is quite high. Grab a rock and hurl it at the attacker. Allow Hyoden to break free on his own. No, but I use my dex in this case. Your aim is true, and the hit jars Hyoden loose. Lurching to his feet, Hyoden clambers up the base of the rocks. As he nears the top, however, the winds flare, pulling him sideways and tearing one of his hands free. But, diving out onto the rock, you manage to catch hold of it, securing his other hand. You pull with waning strength, and it feels as though your arms will be jerked from their sockets. They hold just long enough for Hyoden to set his feet and join you on the trembling ledge. And we're getting pretty much near the end here. I just entered that cave, and that's where I ended. See, I just love the little illustrations there. Okay, there is a deep resonance to the swelling wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from the bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections, unsettling balances. As you dart beneath the old archway, the entry portal begins to fall beneath your own weight. Hover over the icons of any character portrait to see. Okay, yeah. So this is where
A Bewick. Had to be.
Hyoden's words come between wheezing
You're
gasps.
lucky to be alive.
Yeah, so this is where I decide
And we're
to end
the
it.
only ones.
And
Can't stay here. There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further inside.
okay, and I was kind of wishing that I had some camping supplies so I could rest. But anyways, I save it and that is it. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
What you need?
Okay, come on, come on. I'm just babbling on. Sorry. And so, by the way, it was recorded again November 10, 2025, but I'm doing this, voiceover thing November 11, 2025.